is this the fastest racing yacht on corrected time in the world? Meet the brand new wallyRocket 51. So if you don't know about the wallyRocket 51, it was announced last year, and well, in fact 2023. We're now spring 2025. This boat has only been sailing 5 times so far. So this is 6-day sailing from Valencia in Spain. It was built in Ravenna in Ferretti Group's high-tech carbon fiber facility for Wally, and it is an extreme racing machine. It is designed to beat, I guess, the best handicap boat out there, the TP52. So yeah, it's a similar size, but it's designed by TP, world-class winning TP designers, Boatin and Partners. So designed by Boatin to beat a Boatin, and it has some clever tricks to be able to do that. The point is that this should be able to beat a TP52 by around 20 seconds per hour, and then on corrected time even more than that. So you see we've just left the marina there. We've got the founder of Wally, Luca Bassani, on the helm in the cream jacket there. And when you want a good boat to go fast, you need good sailors. So we've got Vasco Vascotto, I think has the most world championships of any sailor in the world. And that is a kite going up very quickly. Yes, so they are developing this boat. The first boat, this is Wally's boat, and they're developing it, fine-tuning it basically, and then they'll race it in the Admiral's Cup and the Fastnet this summer. And then the owner of this team, Django, will have his own, one of the first of the 6 that are in build. This is also a one design boat. So we've got J2 up and obviously full main. We're only in 6 to 7.5 knots true. And we were just getting to a heel angle of around 17, 18 degrees. So we've just put in water ballast to this forward tank. So with 600 litres in total, I guess that's around 300 litres. You can see that the angle is coming down, which is the second number from the bottom, if you can see that, down to 16 degrees at the moment, a bit less heel on. Carbon boat, lots of noises. And then otherwise, if you can see these numbers as clearly as I can on the top there, you've got boat speed and the speed of the ground to show they are correlating. And then the polar, the targets, the second numbers. So you can see we're matching those. True wind angle and apparent wind angle. True wind direction, and you've got the true wind speed just below that, which is 7 knots at the moment, and then your heel angle 20 degrees, and then the bottom numbers there are your forestay load, 3 tons on there, and that's a combination between the forestay load and the structured luff load. So obviously with these modern sails, there's a lot of load going into the sail structure itself. So Vasco is saying how they'll set the mainsail trim and the backstay load, and then play with the jib Cunningham to set the trim of the head sail. Some really neat features, modern racers will get used to, but yeah, nice to see for us normal earthlings. The jib tracks there, so the jib sheet is coming to a turning block there and then led up to the windward side, so you're trimming from the windward side easily there on these Harken Air 300s. Actually, I think there's 13 or 14 of us on board, and this is what it will race. It will race, you can have up to 15 in IRC configuration, so this will be what they'll be racing with for the Admiral's Cup and the Fastnet. Can you imagine doing the Fastnet on here? You haven't seen below decks yet. Bearing away for a kite hoist now. Actually got a nice little bit of breeze. Up to 9.5 knots true. Some speed there. So the kite's gone up and we're already straight into nudging double figures, which is pretty impressive. 10 knots true, 9.8. There you go, you can see double figures on the boat speed on the top. And that's what the polar speed should be. If you listen, you can hear the boat is humming. And I always think when a boat starts humming, you know it's going quick. You know it's planing. Now making 11 knots, in 11 knots true, at 140 degrees true. Oh, it's an animal. You can really feel the sort of harsh movements to go with those noises. It is a pure racing machine, this. Yeah, when I say the harsh movements, I mean the sort of rawness, the brutalness you get from a pure carbon boat like this. So I don't know if I've said yet, but it's a just over 6 tons lightweight boat. And when you compare that to a TP, that's more like 7 tons, and a Club Swan 52 is more like 8 tons. So you can appreciate this is a lightweight 50-footer. And then with that, you got the option to put in that 600 litres of water ballast. And then, you know, in one design configuration, you can crew with less. You can take the coffee grinders out in long run. Is the plan. You know, you make it electric hydraulic, make it easier to shorthand this boat. So there's a lot of versatility in there. Anyway, back to sailing, slipping along, still humming. No wake, no noise back here. And then you've also got Guillermo Parada, the Argentinian Olympic sailor, on the helm. And he's also been developing this with Vasco. So when you have some seriously talented sailors who have spent a lot of time winning on TP52s, helping to develop a boat like this, along with the designers of winning TP52s, does give you a lot of confidence that what they say should actually happen on the race course. Very Wally feature actually to have the dual companionways like that, double access. But you can see this is markedly a race boat. It's even got a race boat head. It's just a black shell. You know, and this has got the strip lights on in here at the moment. See what's going on down here. But there is, you know, zero concession to comfort. It's just pre-preg, foam cord, carbon shell. I don't know if you can see that. That's the forward hatch. It's got the curved lip on it there to stop that spinnaker snagging as it gets sucked down through here on a string drop system. So we were doing that manually today, but that'll come down on a string drop system attached to the winch in the cockpit, so it'll suck it down in about a second or so. Otherwise, nothing up here but empty, bare carbon. Jack there for the mast base. So you've got a Southern Spars high modulus rig and Aero 6 rigging. The other thing to note is what Vasco's saying about it being a dry boat. So that's the jib tracks, for example, are kept up on deck. The deck is all sealed, so there's very little water getting into the boat. Well, that's what they found. Obviously not today, but that's what they have found in heavier breeze as well. But can you imagine sleeping on here, doing the Fastnet on here? That's the engine cover. And then further aft, you've got access really to the hydraulics. But yeah, there are 4 bunks in here, and that's about it. Otherwise, there's access to the constrictor clutches below there. You can't really see them out this light. Power pack for the hydraulics. And not a lot else. Some bits on deck, point out a few details, but I guess, starting back here with your backstays attached to the deflectors there, but I guess a key difference with the deck design is the amount of things that are on hydraulics. So, and obviously you can use both coffee grinders, both the central double winch handles, they're coffee grinders for those that don't know, to control the various options for those hydraulics, whether they're winches or travellers or whatever they are. Anyway, from here you can see main sheet traveller, neat leads. The leads are just super neat, all going through the coamings and lead under deck, via constrictors as well that are hidden away. So that main sheet, for example, you can see the yellow lines disappearing there. It's going up under deck, exiting right out by the main sheet winch. The winches, all these Air 300 lightweight Harken winches. But yeah, it just, in terms of how well it's been thought out, well, you've got the best brains in the industry doing it. It's not surprising, I guess. But for main sheet trimmer, sit here right by the helmsman and have that perfectly led to hand, and that's the constrictor clutch for it, which is somewhere under here, but you can access from under deck. So the coloured button panels here, in front for the main sheet, and then forward for the jib trimmer. So aft there for the running backstays. You've got the deflector controls for them, telling you your loads there. And then here's one of the key differences. This is where you're filling the water ballast. So a key difference would be, over TP on this, would be trim tab. But so they fitted, when they launched the boat in December, it had the trim tab on, which is basically a little rudder on the back of the cord of the fin of the keel, which counteracts leeway, basically. So you go upwind without making any leeway. But then 1st of January, IRC rules doubled the penalty on trim tabs. So on this first Wally, they've now taken that off and put a normal cord, a fin cord on that keel. Anyway, there's where water ballast. Big difference as well for going upwind and reaching. So this has 600 litres of water ballast each side. So you've got a 300 litre tank aft and a 300 litre tank forward, and that's where you'll fill it from. And those tanks will fill in about a minute. And then as you come up to tack, it's the transfer time from side to side is only 7 seconds and about 40 seconds to dump the lot. So you really can actively trim the boat with water ballast, which makes a difference. I mean, what's that, 600, like 5 or 6 people, isn't it? So it's a lot of difference having it on the rail on each side. Second coffee grinder forward here, and then there's another winch, another button controls there for the head sail trimmer. So clue up and down, cars in and out, Cunningham out and in. And again, a little readout there, quite useful, having the rudder angles and the trim tabs. This was really nice to see. I think I pointed it out when we were sailing. It's just having the lead, so that, on this side, that cheek block there, the turning block, going right over to the windward Air 300 there. So as a jib trimmer, you're sat here on the windward side alongside the main sheet trimmer, and you've got the numbers there as well. And same thing, you've got the constrictor clutch controls for those right in there, hidden under deck. As you can see, it's a clean deck. It needs to be a really neat deck layout, kept tidy, kept watertight. And as an example of how strict they are about weight control, I asked why they didn't use foam decking. And Guillermo said, well, it was about 4 or 5 kilos more than using this sort of sandpaper type. And you got a central winch there with the jammers for the halyards, Tron locks as well, running straight through the mast. But here's an example of the watertight element in that those jib cars, the 3D jib cars there, travellers for them, are above the deck itself. So there's no water ingress from there going into the interior. They're really keen on keeping that water out of here. He says it's just started to rain. That's why we went out early this morning, because it's now raining here. Sucked all the wind out of it. So we got what we could. So we're coming back into port. Got Vasco Vascotto with me, and I just wanted to really ask you, you've sailed everything. Do we need another?
Unfortunately, because that means that I'm old. Thank you very much.
No, it doesn't at all. It means your experience doesn't mean you're old. Does the world need another 50-foot race boat? And why? What are the key differences for you with this boat? Why did you want to do this project?
Yeah, I think that because we are experienced, I think that always we learn from all the projects that we had. So that's the first point. And because we are experienced also, as you said, I said old, it's true that we spoke with a lot of owners, and every single class where you go, obviously, also on this boat, there is a lot of things that you can improve. So we try to figure out what our community wants. I know that is another 50-footer, but it's also true that it's difficult to have a dimension of a boat that is so good as the 50-footers. That's the reality. So if you want to do something special, I think that you have to do a 50-footers, or I'm sorry for who doesn't have a 70. This is the two kind of boat that shows that are very successful. But at the same time, I think that you can make something new, something special, something that, for example, is able to cover all the market, or as much as possible. I don't know if my English is good, but
it's very good.
Yeah. So the reality is that with this kind of boat, we try to have a boat that maintain the value. For example, that's something that a lot of owners ask. Okay, that at the same time has a running cost that are cheap, and this boat you are able to sail in class in 11 person with a limited amount of sails. That is something that we are not reinventing the wheel, but we pick something that is good in other class, for example.
Yeah.
You know, and then at a certain point you want a boat that is able to be fast in all the condition and in all the ratings, or as much formula is possible, so IRC or C. And then there are some owners that like also to do the coastal. Now it's we want to do coastal, so we need to do a boat that is able to be watertight. So we try to figure out how to listen all what was the wishes of everybody and try to put in this boat. We are not perfect. I'm not perfect, for sure. Everybody knows that. But we try to listen. That's the reason why we did this kind of boat. And then there is something that is very Italian here. It's Wally. That is stylish, no? Everybody recognizes a Wally. And I think that in this boat you have also something like that.
And you mentioned fast. I guess to beat a TP, it needs to be fast. But TP is an old design now, so I guess being able to do that is, there's enough in modern design to be able to do that. But this has some tricks up its sleeve. In terms of speed, what are the key sort of parameters? For people that don't know, how fast are you talking?
Yeah,
upwind and downwind.
I think that upwind the boat It's very similar performance compared to TP. It's not. It's a 50-footer. It's a 1 feet smaller also. So obviously it's a little smaller boat. But this boat is 6 tons. Okay. Yeah. Or better, is able to sail in 6 tons because you have the water ballast. So you are able to sail downwind with a lighter boat. So we think that downwind, this boat can have a very good performance downwind. And reaching the configuration, this boat is able to have a reef, so you can reduce sails, you can go fast also reaching. So there is a bunch of things that we took some decision in order to cover all the range.
Quick last question. You're a modest guy, but I think you've got more world championships than anyone. What's your favourite boat you've sailed?
Until the wallyRocket.
Until the wallyRocket.
I think that TP was a very good boat.
Okay.
I think that history shows that it is a very successful boat. But I need to admit that 440 was a very good boat. 440 was another boat that stayed in the market for 40 years. And it's like a singer. If you have a good song for 1 year, you are a good singer, but for 1 year.
Yeah, okay.
When you have a long reputation,
longevity.
I think that the longevity shows which boats are very good. So to me, I hope that this boat stay in the market for long, that the owner can enjoy, because that the sailor can enjoy. This is what we really like. And I really would like that at the end of this adventure, say, you know what? This is a smart boat. That's what I would like.
Okay. Grazie, Vasco. So, will this wallyRocket 51 be the fastest race boat in the world on corrected time? I can't tell you that. Sorry. Only went sailing in 10 knots breeze. But I think you can tell, hopefully, from this little look around, this sort of first sail, I think you can sense my enthusiasm for it, and that comes out of, I guess, the design team that are behind it. You know, boating to beat a boating, mixed with Wally and the people that are on board, the project team, some of the best sailors. You know, there's some really clever brains behind this to make sure that it's going to go super fast. It's been built very lightweight. So stats-wise, the figures are there. So let's just see what the race team does on this first boat, see if they go out and prove that this year. And even if they don't, they've created a class with longevity and versatility in the one design element of it, and you know, the being able to put hydraulics on here and crew it more short-handed. Anyway, above all that, it's a Wally. It's super cool. It's got Italian styling, their signature iconic coolness about it. So, yeah, I think it's a weapon, and I hope you enjoyed getting on board with me today.